Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. Daily English, the podcast where we talk about real life, real stories, and real conversations all in simple, clear English.
That's right. Whether you're relaxing, studying, or traveling, we're here to help you improve your English in the most natural way possible.
Every episode, we dive into daily life topics, share fun experiences, and sometimes even argue a little.
Exactly. So sit back, relax, and join us as we explore today's topic. And don't forget, learning English should always be fun. I think we all have this universal desire when we start something new, right? Whether it's learning to code, a new skill for work, or especially a new language.
Oh, absolutely.
We just want to go fast. We want to see that progress quickly. But I don't know, most of the ways we're taught to study just feel so slow or, exhausting.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing a deep dive into today. We've been looking at this really interesting accelerated methodology that's designed to solve exactly that problem.
Okay.
We've sort of synthesized a 4-part system from it that really cuts through those inefficient study habits. The goal isn't just to study more, it's to study smarter.
I like that.
Yeah, and to really leverage how your brain actually works to dramatically speed things up.
So the first misconception this material really goes after is this idea that, just doing a little bit is enough. People always ask, hey, if I do 10 minutes every day, is that good?
And look, 10 minutes is way better than 0 minutes. It's a great start.
Right, it's a start.
Yeah.
But if your mission is to actually move fast, to really accelerate, you need something more. You need a real strategy.
It's the difference between, just tapping the gas pedal now and then versus having a finely tuned engine and a map of where you're going.
Yeah.
And what we've pulled out are these 4 non-negotiable pillars for that speed. First is a plan, a consistent, varied structure.
Okay.
Second, intense, active effort. Third is a mandatory review day to make sure you're not losing what you've learned.
Right, retention.
And finally, and this is the most counterintuitive one, strategic rest.
Rest as acceleration. I love that. It sounds like a paradox.
It is.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with that foundation, the structure and the routine.
Mm-hmm.
So the big trap that this material says we all fall into is what they call the Saturday super study method. You know this one?
Oh, I know it well.
You spend 4 grueling, exhausting hours on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
You're convinced you made this huge leap forward and then nothing. You don't touch it again for 6 days.
And that model is, it's basically a failure. And not because the effort wasn't there. You worked hard for 4 hours. The timing was just all wrong.
How so?
You've just flooded your brain with information, but there's no consistent reinforcement. So what happens is the knowledge decay curve, it's just ruthless.
So you feel productive on Saturday?
You do. But by Wednesday, let alone the next Saturday, your brain has already thrown out most of what you crammed in there. You're just spinning your wheels.
So the big shift, is to move from that one huge session to something shorter, more achievable, like 30 minutes, but every single day.
Exactly. 30 minutes. Everyone can find 30 minutes, right? Even in the most chaotic schedule.
I would think so.
But here's the crucial insight about that routine. Consistency alone isn't enough to go fast. The brain, you see, it craves novelty. It gets bored. So if you do the exact same 30-minute activity, say 5 days in a row, it just becomes monotonous. And boredom is the enemy of momentum. You'll just quit.
That makes so much sense. Monotony is a killer for any habit. So how do we keep it consistent, but also, new?
Through what the plan calls time blocks. It's a disciplined rotation. You keep the 30-minute commitment, but you change the focus every day.
Give me an example.
So Monday, maybe you do 30 minutes of just listening. Tuesday, 30 minutes of focused reading. Wednesday, you switch to active writing, building sentences.
I see.
Thursday could be all about vocabulary. And then Friday is just for speaking practice, even if it's just to yourself.
That's brilliant. So you're still touching the material every single day, which helps with memory, but you're stopping yourself from getting bored because you're forcing your brain to use different skills.
Exactly. It stays fresh, it stays excited, because it never knows quite what's coming next. And that structure is what you need for rapid progress.
Mm-hmm.
So once we have that consistent, varied plan in place, the next step is to maximize the quality of those 30 minutes.
Right.
That brings us to the second pillar, active effort.
And this is the big difference between passive and active work, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all listen to podcasts or audiobooks while we're driving or cooking dinner.
Right, and that's passive learning. The information is going in, but the brain is, as the source material puts it, a little sleepy. It's not working hard enough to really, lock in the memories quickly.
So to go fast, The learning has to be hard.
It has to require a high cognitive load. Your brain has to actually wrestle with the new information. And the core technique for doing that, the real engine of this whole thing, is actually pretty simple. Simple, but very taxing.
That's the pause, write, repeat method.
Yeah.
I get the mechanics, but I have to ask, as a practical matter, if I only have 30 minutes, doesn't stopping every 10 seconds to write something down just kill the flow? Isn't that wasting time?
That is a fantastic question, and it gets right to the heart of what speed actually means here. You're right, it completely disrupts the flow of the audio you're listening to.
Okay.
But it massively accelerates the flow of learning. The goal of that 30 minutes isn't entertainment. It's not passive listening. It's dense, hard input processing.
So what happens? You hear a new word.
And you immediately hit pause. No hesitation. Then you get out your notebook, a special notebook just for this, and you physically write the word down. You force that visual and motor connection.
And the final piece, repeat.
The repeat. You say the word out loud, you vocalize it.
So you're creating a multi-sensory event.
Precisely. You hear it, you see it as you write it, and then you speak it. You are forcing that one piece of information through 3 different neural pathways at the same time.
Wow.
And that intense cross-referencing is what drastically speeds up how quickly that word moves from your short-term memory into your working memory.
So instead of a sleepy 4-hour session where you maybe remember one word, you get a super focused 30 minutes. You might only get 10 new words, but all 10 are immediately locked in with triple reinforcement.
That is the definition of speed. You're using cognitive friction to go faster. But even that active input, it's only half the battle. Which brings us to pillar 3, and this is the reason why a lot of really high-effort learners, they end up just standing still.
Preventing knowledge decay. The review day.
Yes, and this point in the source material is it's devastating when you think about it. If you learn 10 new words this week through all that hard, active effort, but you let 10 words from last week just fade away, you forget them, you haven't actually moved forward at all. You're just treading water.
You've maintained your current level.
Yeah.
You haven't accelerated.
Not one bit. And so real acceleration requires almost perfect retention, which means you have to schedule it. It's like project management. You schedule mandatory maintenance.
And that's the review day, maybe Saturday after your 5 different input days.
And the rule for this day is absolutely strict. 0 new information.
So no new podcasts, no new articles. You just open up that notebook you've been filling all week.
That's it. And the first step is passive. You just read through the words you wrote down. But the real key, the part that actually locks in the learning, is what we call active application or production.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means you have to force yourself to take those older words, the ones from the beginning of the week or from last week, and build something new with them.
So if I wrote down, say, coffee and table on Tuesday, and then happy and walk on Thursday, on Saturday, my job is to make a sentence.
A simple sentence. The coffee is on the table. I am happy to take a walk. You are moving that word from passive recognition, where you just know it when you see it, to active production, where you can actually pull it out of your brain and use it without any prompting. That active retrieval, that forced integration, is the signal to your brain that says, hey, this is critical information. Keep it.
So that's the step that guarantees you're actually building on what you learned, not just replacing old knowledge with new.
That is what guarantees you are truly accelerating.
Okay, so we've covered the structure, the intense effort, and the retention plan. Now we get to the 4th pillar, and this is the one that really seems to contradict the entire idea of going fast. Rest. Why on earth does a rapid learner need to intentionally stop?
Because your brain is a physical organ. It's not a computer. And that intense active learning we've been talking about, that is exhausting neural work.
Okay.
We really have to lean into this analogy of the brain as a muscle. When you go to the gym and lift weights, you're actually creating tiny tears in the muscle fibers. The muscle doesn't get stronger while you're lifting.
No, it gets stronger when you rest, when it repairs itself.
Exactly. And that 30-minute pause, write, repeat session is the neurological version of a really intense workout. You are heavily taxing the system.
And a tired brain is just inefficient.
A tired brain learns slow. It's that simple. You hit a point of diminishing returns incredibly quickly. A refreshed, well-rested brain, on the other hand, learns fast.
So rest isn't just downtime.
No, the material is very clear about this. Rest is an active phase of memory consolidation and organization.
What do you mean, organization?
So when you stop studying, you go for a walk, you get a good night's sleep, Your brain isn't just powering down, it's actively sorting and filing all of that information you just forced into it. It's building the mental architecture to support all that new knowledge.
So it's taking coffee and table and figuring out where they fit in with everything else I already know.
Absolutely. It's the brain's own little IT department doing system maintenance and indexing everything. If you deny your brain that organization time, yeah, you might study for 5 hours straight, but the quality of what you retain will be catastrophically low.
That completely changes how you look at it. Taking a break or getting enough sleep isn't a luxury. It's not a sign of weakness.
It's a non-negotiable part of the plan if you want to maintain high speed.
It's what makes sure that your 30 minutes is actually high-quality work instead of, 3 hours of just tired, low-quality exhaustion.
The plan is efficient because it honors the brain's need for both intense focus and deliberate recovery.
This is an incredible roadmap for anyone who's ever felt just totally overwhelmed or frustrated by how slow they're progressing. It's about replacing that guilt-driven cramming with strategy.
High-impact strategic effort.
Okay, let's just quickly recap the 4 pillars of this accelerated plan one more time.
Let's do it. So, 1, the plan. You have to establish those consistent, short, 30-minute daily blocks, but you have to vary the focus to keep your brain engaged.
2, active effort. Use those high-friction techniques. The pause, write, repeat method is a perfect example. Engage multiple senses to speed up how quickly you encode the information.
3, the review day. You have to dedicate time only to retention. Use active application. Force yourself to use older concepts to stop that knowledge decay in its tracks.
And 4, the big paradox, rest. You have to embrace breaks, get enough sleep, and understand that rest is actually when the critical work of memory consolidation happens. It's what makes the hard work stick.
When you really look at people who learn things incredibly quickly, you almost always find a system like this at the core. Speed isn't magic. It's just a good methodology.
That leads us to our final thought for you to explore. If the brain is actively organizing all this complex information during rest and sleep, what other common everyday activities in your life, things like your daily commute, doing the dishes, or taking the same walk every day, what other activities might be providing that low stimulus environment your brain needs for that deeper subconscious knowledge consolidation? Go look for those hidden pockets of organization time.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Mr. Daily English. I hope you enjoyed this episode and picked up something useful for your English learning journey. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps us grow and make better content for you. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video. Keep practicing, keep improving, and stay confident with your English.